What are you doing? What are you doing walking like? You should be painting. Why aren't you painting?
This is my sand walk.
Look at that.
I'm gonna call a worm.
Oh,
I have to walk irregularly.
Putting the finishing touches on this. You
Jeez.
never understand.
I didn't think you would make this steel tent so ridiculous all the time.
Listen. I just finished my new painting. Do you want to see it?
I guess. Hold on. My Chris knife can't be away from flesh for too long. Jeez.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not getting any audio.
up?
I'm not getting any audio through my headphone.
Oh, here. Just try it over here. That better?
Oh yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Nice.
Thanks. Okay, cool. Let me get a just tad more comfortable here. Ugh.
Ah!
What?
Your ear!
What? What about my ear?
When did this happen?
Listen.
I need to harvest you for your body's water.
No, I got plenty of water. It's everywhere. Look at the floor. I got so much water you wouldn't
My
believe.
still suit only has so much.
Listen. It's obvious everyone knows who I am. I'm a famous artist here. I just finished my brand new painting. Do you wanna see it?
Sure.
Okay, I'm very proud of this one.
I'm a big fan of art.
I just finished this one. Let me pull it out. I call it content. I think it's gonna be a real winner.
That is really great. Put that up for sale later.
Put that up with Marilyn. Guys, okay. I'm sorry. We pulled the wool over your eyes. I'm not actually Martin Scorsese. I'm Justin from the Stagler. I'm in a costume.
What?
Yeah. Who are you, by the way?
I'm not Paul Atreides.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Who are you?
I'm Nick from the Stagler.
Oh, Nick, it's so good to see you.
Just a costume.
It's been so long since I've seen you.
I know.
Sir, nice to meet you. It looks like your name is Joker Phoenix. It's
Joker Phoenix.
It's very good. Nice to meet you.
It's just Marilyn in a costume.
It's Marilyn in a costume. Imagine that.
She's doing Joker this year.
Oh wow. Well, we all dressed up. How cool is that?
Wow.
We're all here and we're all super excited to be here. I think.
Yeah.
Episode 41 of the Stagler.
4-1.
It's if you couldn't tell, it's our Halloween episode.
Yes,
That's
it is.
how it
It is literally Halloween today.
Literally Halloween right now. We
at the
are
time of us recording.
a little bit over halfway through Halloween right now. How do you feel?
I'm feeling good.
Did you get any treats?
I had some fireballs.
Nice.
Yeah.
A few? Like at the same time? Like just a little go.
Yeah, I had a couple. I got a whole bag of them.
Sweet, nice. I have some Fireball at home, but it's the whiskey.
Yeah, see the little cinnamon candies are a lot better.
You can put them in the drink, and then it's like when you finish your drink, you get a little treat.
Well, okay.
For you, it'd be like a trick or treat because you'd be like, "Oh, a gross drink," and then you'd be like, "Oh, yum, candy." But anyways, guys, we got some serious to talk about. Okay.
Serious.
10 slashers on the loose.
On the loose? Oh my god.
Well, on the loose
I
on
better
your
get my Chris knife.
on your TV screen. Yeah, you're gonna show off that Chris knife at all? Just
Oh, you want to see it?
I mean, sure, it's great for an audio podcast.
I didn't really like the Milky White blade deal, so I went for all black.
Yeah,
As you can see,
that's a real fucking knife.
this is a Chris knife.
Okay, a real Chris knife, but
Yeah, real Chris knife from the maker.
yeah,
Obviously
Yeah.
painted black though.
yeah. Okay, put it away.
Yeah, you act up, and that other ear is gonna be
can-
going bye-byes.
Hey, what did you say? Sorry, what?
Act up, and that other ear is going bye-byes.
Oh, okay. Thank
Better
you.
watch out,
Thank you.
Marty.
Yes, that's me, Marty. I don't know how he talks, but I'm just doing.
And this one that be in your water.
Yeah. Anyway, 10 slashers, guys. I think we rattled them off yesterday, but we could rattle them off again real quick. What we're gonna talk about.
We're doing Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Candyman, Scream, and Saw.
Fun, awesome. That's 10.
Yep.
But first, you know how it is. We got to get through our weeks. So we got short weeks, and it's actually we both did both.
We got
things.
the same, so we can just go into the two movies that we saw.
We saw a music doc.
A documentary.
For music, for a band. For the band. It's actually like my favorite band.
And it is a band that I have heard of, but I have never listened to any of their music before.
This is The Velvet Underground.
I will say, the movie never never answers if the velvet is underground,
Underground
or if the underground is velvet.
Based off of some album art, I'm gonna say the underground is velvet.
Okay,
That's just my guess.
that makes it cool for me. That was the one question I wanted answered going in, and they didn't answer it. So
Yeah,
that was
I
very
could see
upsetting. So
that.
for that, I'm gonna have to take off 6
6 points. Fair enough.
That's just how it is.
It comes from Todd Haynes, right off the heat from Dark Waters. You know, just coming in.
It's the
with,
Dark Waters person.
yes, 190 cows.
190 cows. Yes.
Yes. Tuna melt.
Tuna melt.
It's great. Great quotable movie.
Very
if you're
quotable.
a stupid person.
Underrated film.
I would say. There's that other Dark Waters that's like a horror film, but we don't have to talk about that.
I think that's the one with like Ana de Armas and like Benny Affy.
Maybe. I thought it was like foreign, but I don't know anything about anything.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something different.
But yeah. Okay, here's the thing. It's your favorite band, it's a music documentary. They're gonna play the band's music the whole time. You get a little bias, like I liked it because I got to listen to music for like an hour and a half. It was nice. So I like that. I would say the one thing is that I thought their talking heads at times got a little confusing because I was like, wait, who is this person again? And like,
Yeah.
at the end, they did have a big stills of this is every person that was in the documentary and who they were.
Yeah.
Right at the end. But I was like, maybe they should have thrown that in in the middle. Just give me a quick refresher. That was like my one thing. But
I thought it was put together in a cool way with kind of like how the screen is like always like split up.
Yeah.
With like somebody's like face or like whatever.
yeah,
and then,
this
like,
whole
other
the last
footage.
dual trailer is this whole movie.
Yeah, kinda, literally.
Yeah.
It was cool at first, but it kind of started to bother me like
Mm-hmm.
later. And sometimes I agree with you, it was a little confusing. Like I don't know who's talking.
Yeah.
And me not knowing any of the band's music, I thought the music was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like jamming out the whole time. Like, oh, this is my favorite song. They're finally playing it. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, this music's cool.
It is cool. It is very cool music. If you don't know the Velvet Underground, I would highly suggest you go listen. They're cool.
They have a banana on one of their covers.
Yep. Andy Warhol, little banana. Because they worked with Andy Warhol and shit, and then called him a rat. Remember that?
You stinking rat.
You stinking rat, Lou Reed. Whatever. I liked it. I would highly recommend it. I thought it was just as good as the Bee Gees one that came out a little while ago. Because it felt like the band would like it too, you know? Felt like the band would be like, oh yeah, that was good.
Huh.
It didn't feel like just a normal one that people would be like, ugh.
Interesting. I thought it was fine. But again, it's probably my own fault for just seeing a documentary about something that I'm just like not very interested in.
Right. I mean, if you saw a documentary about like what's something that you are not interested in at all? Geology.
Well,
You like geology?
kind of.
You like
Maybe
minerals?
like anatomy.
Anatomy. How could you only just have different interests? Yeah, it's like go see a documentary about something you don't care about. It could come out that you don't care for the documentary, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw something else that we both cared about quite a bit, as far as I could tell.
Right. We saw a spooky film.
Last night we saw it.
Last night, we saw The Last Night
in
Soho.
Soho.
which is Edgar Wright's technically seventh feature film, because he made a documentary earlier this year, which I didn't even know.
Yes, the Sparks Brothers. It's a music documentary.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's his seventh feature.
Good for him.
And it's his first horror film.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I liked it. It was a lot of fun to watch. You
Yeah,
know?
that's all of his movies. Edgar Wright's really great at like just creating kind of like a kinetic, like always moving forward atmosphere where you never feel like we're stopping. Even like in like softer scenes, you always feel there's always like a momentum to his films with like the way it's shot and edited.
Yeah.
He's just very good at that.
There was something I was thinking, my one thing, that wasn't even the movie's fault, but I was kind of mad at the theater because I thought this movie was hilarious, and it seemed like you and I were like the only two people who laughed like ever. But there's some funny shit in there, and I was like laughing. People were like just.
I think
dead
that's our
silent.
faults for our little predictions.
Well, that too, guys. We have a thing that we do every once in a while. Just throw it out there if that's okay.
That's cool.
It's very fun. Honestly, try it because it is just gets you excited over stupid stuff. Just before you go into a movie, make a prediction, and don't be like, "Oh, in the trailer this happened," so throw that in the garbage.
Yeah, make stupid stuff.
What was ours? We said there would be a red umbrella.
A red umbrella.
We said somebody'd wear a mask. We said girl on girl kiss,
Yep.
stuff like that. Only one of those came true. Another one came half true.
Yeah.
Like it was
I
insinuated.
said, I was like, someone's going to fall down the stairs, like the whole staircase.
And then I said someone's going to fall halfway down the stairs and then catch themselves. And both of those things happened.
Yeah. So like spoilers for this film, but at the end, our main character's like crawling up the stairs and she's being chased by a lady with a knife.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're going up the stairs. And I like look over to Jessica. I was like, they're getting to the top of the stairs. And then she kicks her and she starts falling. And I was like, yes,
Yes.
yes. And then she catches herself
Right halfway.
halfway exactly down the stairs.
And then I
you were
start
like,
screaming.
yes. And I'm sure everyone else in the theater was very happy to be with us at that time.
I'm sure. No, we weren't that obnoxious. We just had the
No.
you know. But no, the film follows this fashion student who Thomasin McKenzie,
Yeah.
and she is from like I guess the country, and she moves to like London.
It looks like Wales.
Okay. That was like it was like Cornwall or something, right?
Oh, I don't know anything about England.
Well, Cornwall might be in Wales. I don't know. But she's a country girl, right? And
Yeah.
she has the ability to see ghosts. It's that simple.
In mirrors.
Yeah, primarily only in mirrors. And that's something that she does, and she sees like her mom there, and that's like what's special about her. So it's like a premise that's cool because this is something that she's already been living with and she knows about. You know, it's not
Yeah.
new. So I feel like you can take it a lot further and not have to stop the movie to like have her be like, what's going on? It's just like, oh no, I know what's going on. I'm seeing dead people and it's cool. And so she rents this. Well, she goes to fashion school. Everyone's a bitch to her. They like hate her immediately.
Jocasta, the worst person ever.
the best character.
Should have died. Should have
Should
died,
have
in my
died in this
opinion,
film.
but didn't.
Low death count in this movie.
Very extremely low.
Technically.
Technically.
Technically low.
In the present.
In the
low death
present,
count.
yeah. But she does that. So she moves out of the college. She gets her own room. And in that room, she starts seeing these, like, basically memories of this girl who, like, used to live there. And she's like, oh, what happened? And you follow that whole story. I'm not even going to go further into it than that.
Yeah, it
because
like
is so new.
it's basically kind of like a dreamlike state where she gets like transported back to like the 60s.
Yeah,
and
so
follows her life.
One of the things I really want to say was super cool, and honestly, they did it in times where they might not have even had to, is that in a lot of those sequences, in the reflection, you'll either see Anya Taylor-Joy or Thomasin McKenzie, and the other one will be the other, you know?
Yeah.
So they'll be dancing, and in the reflection, it's the other actress dancing, you know?
Yeah, it was really cool.
And it was really, really cool effects, and they did it in scenes, like, in very small, subtle ways, and I was like, they really didn't need to do that, but they did.
Yeah.
Because there was like ones where they were driving in a car, in the window of the car, there was like the reflection of the back of their head, but it was the other actress like looking in, you know? And I was like, wow, they really didn't need to do it, but they did.
They did.
That attention to detail was really great and made it fun to just watch through like that. I'm sure, given, you know, what happens in the story, that a rewatch would be rewarding and you could still catch all those little details and be like, oh, that's super cool, you know,
Yeah.
that's all in there. I honestly wonder, like, how early, you know, could you be like, oh, cool, that's like the first hint, you know, if it's like the first like 10 minutes or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because I could definitely see that. Very, very cool. I wonder how much of it, there was a few scenes, remember they were dancing in the ballroom, her and Matt Smith, you know, like the main guy. I wonder how much of that was actually like practical, because I was like, this could
It seemed like a lot of the actresses just like running in,
running out, ducking, and just like coming up.
It seemed like it was just well choreographed,
which is
scene.
so like
is cool.
smart and good if that's the case, because I was watching,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second, this looks like it could just be like
That's what it
normal.
looked like to me, but it could have been just trickery.
Could all be tricky. I mean, that's what the movies are. There's just a bunch of tricks.
Right.
Trick or treat.
Hey, what's up?
The treat is that you get to watch it and enjoy it. But yeah, last night in Soho,
It's a good movie. Go see it.
I thought it was great. Yeah, please go see it.
Go see it if you like Edgar Wright. I mean, who doesn't? But I will say, this movie isn't. I mean, yes, we had a good time and we laughed. This
Right.
movie is not funny.
No, this movie is funny.
Is it?
This movie definitely had Jocasta's whole character is jokes. Because she's like,
guess,
my
yeah,
mom
yeah.
died, and then she's like, well, actually, my great uncle died, so I know what it's like. Like, it's
But overall,
But
it's
the theme of the
much
movie-
less funny than all of his other films.
The movie has jokes, but the theme of the movie is very dark. And the thing that really sucks about this is that I have seen people being like unfavorable to the movie or unfair to the movie, because I think the movie does ride this weird line between like victims and abusers, you know, and it's this weird story that you really can't get into without spoiling the whole thing. But a lot of people are taking it in bad faith and being like, "Oh, so she's the bad guy," you know, like, "Oh, so all those people are okay, but she's like the villain," you know.
Yeah,
and I think they're just
yeah.
being dishonest and they're being uncharitable towards Edgar Wright because obviously, because I mean, I was thinking that same thing too when I was watching the movie because I was like, "Oh, this could not be good." But with how everything gets resolved, it's like, no, this Edgar Wright makes it very plain his beliefs here.
Yeah,
you know,
I would agree.
I would not call them problematic in the least. But yeah, I've seen people just be, but people are always
That's always how
nitpicking
it
and
is,
doing
so.
stuff like that.
It'll always be like that.
Yeah.
Cool movie. Go see it in the movie theater.
Yep, go now.
Right now. Stop the podcast. Go.
We'll leave the podcast running for 2 hours
We'll just sit here wait for
right
you to
now,
come back,
and then come back and
you
then
can email us.
listen. That's it for our weeks.
That's it. It was a real short week. Sorry.
So we can get into our news
Into the news.
right now. We have some trailers. We have the
Couple
Lightyear
trailers
trailer.
came out. Lightyear.
What do you think?
Okay, so here's the deal. The cool thing that I like about this, I will say, is that it's a cool little headcanon, and I don't know if like anyone from Pixar has come out and said this, but like that this is the movie that Andy saw in Toy Story that made him like want to get Buzz like as a toy.
Yeah, but
I think that's cool.
I think it's stupid.
I think
Depending
it's
on what it
cute.
means. Well, because it just depends what happens in the movie. Because is the movie supposed to be like realistic, like real life sci-fi stuff, or is it like still fiction? Like, did Andy watch a biography or like a biopic, or did he watch a sci-fi movie? That's what I'm asking. Is this like, oh, this is a movie about the real astronaut Buzz Lightyear?
No.
So this is still a sci-fi. Then it's fine. Because I was like, he turns into a cartoon character. He has like an Emperor Zurg. Like, I was gonna say that'd be like turning, you know, like Buzz Aldrin into Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. No,
So,
no,
I
no.
don't
I
know.
think yeah, it's the other.
Okay, well that'd be better. Because
movie
I heard
names.
people telling me that it's a real life, like, he's a real life person that Andy like met in person and like
Well, that'd be
shook
weird.
hands with.
I guess that might happen in the movie. That
Maybe.
kind of weird.
That would be.
But I like my version,
I do too.
where it's what Andy saw.
I
and he's
prefer
like, that's why I like Buzz. I
that
like
as
Buzz."
well. Yeah, that'd be
It's
cool.
just a cool little thing. The movie, it's just like a teaser. Nothing really happens in it. The animation looks great. It's Pixar. It's always gonna look great.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the movie's about. So it's about Buzz Lightyear and Chris Evans, and he doesn't talk in it really ever. So you can't really. He says like one line, so
Yeah, he
you
says,
can't really
like, what?
tell how the voice is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it'll be fine.
I think, is this because Buzz got so sidelined in Toy Story 4? They're like, okay, we got to give Buzz a movie.
It might be. He's like not in Toy Story 4.
I know. It's
weird.
rough.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see it. I'll see it.
I will let you tell me if I should see it.
Okay.
Witcher Season 2 trailer.
Cool. I'm on board.
Looks cool.
Season
It
1
looks
was really cool.
Bigger budget a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Season 2 looks cool.
It looks sweet. I didn't really myself notice anything that I was like, oh, it's that moment. But then again, I'm not a big books person.
Right. I don't know anything about The Witcher, so I just know the show.
I saw that it looked like it was maybe like Lambert in the trailer, so we'll get like other Witchers coming in
Oh, that's cool.
and doing stuff, which is sweet. I don't know if it was Lambert. It could have been anybody, but that's just where my mind went.
Right. I hope he does more magic abilities.
I saw them doing Quen quite a bit in the trailer. People were
Quen. That's
that's
like
the
the
shield
shield one?
Yeah, because they were
Okay.
going like that, and it was going.
I want him to do the fire one.
Ignis.
Igni?
Igni. Yeah.
Makes sense. Igneous.
Yeah.
It's like fire, igneous, fire.
Yeah,
type
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Igni. I want to see him do the fire one, and I want him to heal himself with the Healy one.
Okay.
Isn't there a Healy one?
There's like a potion like that he can drink.
Oh, okay. Well, is there one where he can like set down like a field and like a
Quen.
like spectral thing can like go into it, and then like he can actually like damage the spectral being?
Yeah, that's Yervin or something like that.
I want to see that.
That one would be very cool. I think so too. I want to see what is it? Ard? No, Ard's like just like wind. There's one that's like mind control that he did. Axie. And he did a little bit
that
in the
would be
first
cool.
season, but I want to see more like Axie.
Cool.
Because he can do it to like animals and shit and like calm down like beasts and stuff.
Roach.
Yeah, or Roach. He could do that to him as
Roach, calm down, bro.
Mhm.
Is Roach gonna talk in this season?
well. I hope so.
Do you think Witcher just like does something and then Geralt's like, "Yo, what's up?" and then Roach is like, "Fuck you, Geralt." Would that be funny?
Only if he has like a that famous talking horse voice.
BoJack?
No. He's like, I'm gonna kill myself, Gerald.
Matt Damon from Spirit?
No, I forget. He's like, "Ugh." It's old TV.
I nailed it. Okay. Anyway,
Ed?
Richard looks cool.
Ed, I think, was maybe the horse's name. Yeah, it's cool. I'll see it.
Me too.
I hope Yennefer gets plenty because I remember being really surprised by Yennefer's actress and everything and character, and I ended up really liking her in the first season.
Yennefer and Triss.
As well as Dandelion.
Ari?
Siri.
Sorry.
But I don't remember if did they call him Dandelion or no?
I don't know.
The Bard Man. I honestly don't remember. Valley of Plenty. Anyway, The Sopranos. Warner Media in talks with David Chase about HBO Max prequel series. Who'd thunk?
No thanks.
Who'd thunk?
My vote is no.
To all of it?
Yeah.
My vote is also no, because why not just make a new thing?
Yeah, just make something new.
Just make a new thing. Who cares? I mean, if it's good, but it seems like such a waste. You can never go post. You can never give anybody what they want, and like, do people want to see not Tony Soprano running around?
Right.
That's like the whole point.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll see if it even makes, because it's just talks. It's nothing like greenlit or anything, so we'll see if it happens. Seems like they really wanted it when the movie came out, Many Saints in Newark. They're really pumping for it to like revitalize the whole franchise.
I don't think
bam, bam, bam. There's no way. It like revitalized it until the movie came out, and then everyone was like, "Okay, I'm done."
Yeah, literally.
I
agree.
More than half of Americans would prefer to stream new movie releases at home.
Who said that?
CivicScience.com.
Who'd they? What's their pool?
They had 21,631 responses in 2021.
What's the like diversity of the group?
Well, I don't know.
Age?
I can send you this whole huge thing, or I can just read through this. It says, how soon from now would you be comfortable going to a movie theater? 54% said now, and the rest said later. Would you rather watch something at home or go out to a movie? 71% said, I'd rather watch it at home.
It says something, not new. That question says something.
Well, maybe there's another one. Would you rather watch something at home or go out to a movie by age? So, young people.
That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense that old people would much rather go to the cinema than the young
but
people.
the older people, definitely, for sure.
Interesting. Except for people like us.
Yes. When new movies are released simultaneously to theaters and streaming services, how do you prefer to watch them for the first time? 56% prefer to stream them at home.
Interesting.
It's barely over half. But this is only 1,700 responses, that says.
Yeah, that's like not a good pool of people.
This does not seem that good. They didn't poll me.
Yeah, I would have said I like to see it in the theater. They should have asked Dune. Would you like to see Dune in the theater?
Sponsored by Dune.
On HBO Max.
Have you purchased or rented a newly released movie to stream in the past few weeks?
Newly
69%
released?
said no, and I won't.
Well, because they're like $20.
They are crazy. Yeah, it is kind of
just go to the movie theater and pay $10.
Oh, here we go. How much you're willing to pay to stream a newly released movie on a streaming service you already pay for? Under $10 says 66%.
I would agree.
I would be like under 15. 15 is like
one
my
time
max.
I paid for Raya, The Last Dragon, or whatever. That was $20. That was the only time I ever did that.
You're in the 10%, my friend.
I did it. I wasn't willing. I mean, I guess I was willing because I did it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it again unless it was a movie I really, really wanted to see.
4% said 25 plus.
Who are these people?
They are
like, yeah,
the 1%.
Yeah, these are the rich people who are like, yeah, whatever, sure.
$25, who cares? Yeah, only 19% of Americans aged 55 or older are willing to pay more than $10. So they've got their heads on straight, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. Civic science.
That was just a quick little thing from them. But if you want to go out of theaters and see something, you could see the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Nuh-uh.
Tickets are on sale now. The surprise animated hit that was released back on Netflix in April is finally coming to movie theaters nationwide for the first time next month, all thanks to a partnership between Netflix and Iconic Events Releasing. I hope it comes to theaters near us because I would love to go see this in the theater.
That, absolutely.
I still haven't seen it, but everyone's like, "Oh my gosh,
you
it's
haven't
great."
seen it yet?
Well, yeah, because everyone's told me it's great, and I just want to.
So good.
I'm actually planning on watching it with someone, so I hope we can go to the theater instead.
That would be sick.
That would
It's such
be
a great movie. That would be
Fantastic.
super awesome.
I'd be very excited for that. But yeah, I thought that was such a cool little tidbit. I want to get the word out there so
That
people
is
know.
cool. I wonder if that means that
we
like
can go see
Netflix it would be like open to like releasing some of their other original stuff like to theaters like just like later.
Like a $10 ticket.
Six
They're gonna
Underground.
stream all of Dark just in a straight line.
That would be sick.
Just like for 2-3 days.
That would be life changing.
Dark. That would be. I mean, life changing is a word for it. Box office week. Dune sets a new record for WB and HBO Max's day and date releases.
Let's
with
go.
a 40.1 million opening weekend.
Let the spice flow.
So yeah, 40.1 million worldwide, 220 million. Pretty good. And a budget of 165.
You know, I'm just really glad that everybody wants to watch me, Paul Atreides, trek across the desert with my mother, Lady Jessica, and I get to meet up with this hot chick, Chani, who I've been dreaming about for a while. She's real cute. Hopefully she likes me. I totally killed Jameis to kind of get her attention, so hopefully that's cool. It would be sick if we could like ride a sandworm together or something. You know what I mean?
I don't know how Martin Scorsese feels about this Dune, but I know he liked the old Dune. So I
How
like
does he
it.
feel about Marvel?
How does he feel about Marvel? He says,
Fuck Marvel.
Oh, that's good. That is it for news.
The news.
We're getting into the good stuff.
It's time for the spotlight.
Fantastic.
Boo-doo-boo-boo, spotlight. Boo-doo-boo-boo, spotlight.
What do we got?
Time for the spotlight.
Stop. What do we got?
Okay, we do the movies that have people that kill people in them.
Nice. Slashers, they're called.
Yes.
And basically the rules that we have is slashers are people who, and I don't think this is like my rules. I read it somewhere. But slashers have to be people, or they once were people, and they gotta cut you up. And they have to have a specific target. That was basically the 3 rules in a nutshell.
Okay, cool. So we're just gonna go in order of like release here.
Perfect.
So we have all the way back in 1960, the
Oh.
OG, Alfred Hitchcock, one of the greats, obviously released Psycho, one of probably his most famous film.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't actually consider this a slasher because it's more of a psychological thing.
Yeah.
But screw it. It's like the
cares?
proto slasher. It's like, help pave the way, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Each way. So we have Psycho 1960.
I just watched this for the first time,
Yeah.
like last week. That's a good movie.
Were you aware of the twist?
No. So here's the
Really?
cool so the cool thing about me is since I'm so far detached from horror
Mm-hmm.
and the horror like fan base and everything, all these movies I knew nothing. Like I didn't know anything about them. Like
Yeah.
I know what they are. Like I know who Mike Myers is. Okay, I'm not an idiot. I know who Jason is. Like I know all
Groovy,
this
baby.
stuff.
That's Mike Myers. Or he's Donkey. Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. Like I know what they are, but I didn't know anything like about the movies themselves. So I'm very proud of myself for not knowing what happens in Psycho, but I am proud of myself because I'm notoriously very bad at predicting things.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured this out early, and
Oh,
I'm proud of
nice.
myself. The very first conversation
Between him and his mom?
between him and his mom, I was like, no way, his mom's not real,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Spoilers.
Ding.
Mom's not real.
yeah, he is mommy.
That wasn't even what I was talking about necessarily, even though that is another twist. That the protagonist gets killed halfway through the film.
Oh, that. Okay. Well, okay. So the other thing that
You know the shower scene.
I know the shower scene. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
I've seen it out of context a million times. I figured that was like close to the end of the movie.
Right.
But it happens like right in the middle. That's when I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah. What is the rest of this movie?
I was like, dang,
you know?
what's the rest of the movie about? And the rest of the movie is still very interesting.
So yeah, the main character, she steals. Well, main character, right? She steals like $40K, and she's on the lam. She's like, I'm getting out of here. So she stops at this Bates Motel, and Norman's there, and he's like, hey, and he's like, I love to stuff birds. Did you know?
And by the way, Norman Bates looks just like Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, they could do something. I definitely see what you're talking about.
They have the same face.
Yes, it's very
Him and
similar.
Whoever portrays him.
Yeah. So he's like, I love to stuff birds, and then it's like, bird is like a slang for a woman. And then he goes in the shower and he stabs her, and then it's like her sister and boyfriend, right? That are like,
Yeah.
oh, we got to go find out what happened. And they all think that it's still she ran away with the money.
Yeah.
But slowly they uncover clues and they find out that, oh,
They
this
talk
Bates
to-
guy is kind of messed
Yeah.
up.
And they get arbogast.
They get
on the-
arbogassed.
on the drill.
Yeah.
The private detective, and he also bites the dust, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy Bates gets him.
He falls down the steps, I believe.
Cool shot, by the way. The
Yeah.
steps, it's cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, I mean,
Alfred
Alfred
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock. He's
Yeah.
pretty good with the camera.
Pretty
Some might
decent.
say he might be okay with the camera.
Ah, he's no Fellini.
It's true.
Okay. But we got, so at the end, the sister stumbles across the dead body of the mother. Norman comes in and he's dressed up like that. He comes at her with a knife, but Sam comes in and wrestles him to the ground, and they take him in.
Yay.
And then the end of the movie is just like a psychiatrist like explaining what's wrong with him. And
Kind of
then-
problematic. Some of the things that he says, I mean, it's 1960.
It was the understanding at the time, you know. It's honestly, for what it was in the time, it's actually probably a lot better than it could have been.
That's probably
I'd have
true.
to say that it's
I
not
agree.
good, but it's
I
a
was
lot
like,
better. Than
Yeah, I was like, this
somebody
movie
else.
definitely came out in 1960.
Yeah. But we have the actual end is him just sitting there, just kind of looking around, and you hear the voice of his mother in his head, and just saying
He
stuff.
wouldn't
and
even hurt a fly, or
Yeah.
she, or whatever he said.
she,
Something.
yeah, she.
I don't know if he's talking about mom or himself.
Probably the mom, because the mom takes over completely. Because she's like, "I'll just sit here. I won't even swat that fly."
Yeah,
You know.
good stuff.
And then he just smiles at the camera, which is like the screenshot that if people talk about Psycho is, it's her screaming in the shower and then him like looking upstairs, smiling at the camera.
Yeah, like the Joker.
Are like the two screenshots that you see from this film like all the time.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's great. It's tense. It's drama. You know, it's those
It
scenes
is.
where Norman's like trying to be a person.
yeah. The scene right before she gets killed in the shower, when it's just the two of them like talking in that like bird room. That's like the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, it's
just
really, really
really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good. Not my favorite Hitchcock. I haven't seen like a lot of Hitchcock's movie, but North by Northwest is just too good
Very good.
by my standards.
Yeah.
But this was a cool movie.
Yes.
I'm very glad I saw it.
Many years later.
We're going fast forward 14 years in the future. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes out by Tobe Hooper.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The one and only. The one that is not based on a real event, even though everyone thinks it is.
Yeah. Well, that's because like the beginning is like
Based on a real
based
event.
on a real event, but not really.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
based on a real fake event. I'm sure this was not what you expected.
No. So this one I really knew nothing about. Everyone's just like, "Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre." I don't ever know which one to talk
Leatherface.
because there's so many.
Yeah.
And I was
I
just
think there's one
assumed-
coming out like next year with Elsie Fisher.
Nice. I always just assume it's Leatherface because I know Leatherface, obviously.
Yeah.
Just like cutting people up, and this is going to be like one of the gnarliest ones.
Yes.
Wrong. This movie is like very chill for a while, and then goes like fucking off the rails, but not with like gore and stuff. Just like these people are like fucked up.
They're yeah, they're a little few bolts loose.
And it's not just Leatherface. There's like other people too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's a
either.
family.
He has like a whole family of weird cannibals.
Did you play Resident Evil 7?
No, I only played 8.
All right. Big inspiration from, because it's like a whole family that you fight in that one. There's
Oh,
a scene
cool.
exactly like the scene in the movie at the
Oh,
dinner table
nice.
in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool. I thought this movie was okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first part in the van with like the dude that cuts his hand
Mm-hmm.
was interesting, but I wasn't really too into it. I think the performances were kind of bothering me.
Could
That's
be.
why. But then when they get to the house, I thought it was cool and it was tense.
Yeah, when they're
and
all
I was-
separated.
Yeah, I was enjoying all that stuff. And then they like go to the swimming pool or like the water hole, but then there's like no water, and they're like, let's just go to this house. And I was like, it's probably a bad idea.
Right.
And then they walk in, and I was like, okay, if you walk into a random house in the middle of nowhere, I understand it's like the 70s, different times. And the first thing you see is like a giant cow skin like hanging from the ceiling. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That's another thing with a lot of these movies where as soon as they're in danger, they're like, I gotta go lock the front door. It's like, bitch, you had it open? Like, what? That's just
Yes.
doesn't fly anymore.
So that was just weird. And then Leatherface comes out, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And he just like hits the dude in the head with a hammer and like insta kills him.
Yeah. It's the kills aren't even that. There's really not a lot of gore at all. And that's even something that the director talks about, how he thought he was able to make it scarier by showing less, you know, and that's the thing.
It was pretty, I don't know if it was scary, but it was very unsettling. I felt like I was watching like
a snuff film.
Something really messed up.
Yeah. Only one person gets killed by a chainsaw.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do about that? But one of the things that always got me was the meat hooks being hung up on the meat hook.
The meat
that
was tough.
That's tough.
And then like that scene where like it's the last girl and they're all at the table and she's just like screaming the whole time.
The whole time.
She won't stop. Like after like 10 minutes of her, I was like, I hope her voice is okay. Like,
and
when they were filming
you have basically at least 2 of the 3 guys of the 4 guys there also like hooting and hollering at her during her screaming. So it's just so much noise, like nonstop.
And it just like really gets in your head.
It does.
It's pretty effective. And then the grandpa, I had to start laughing. I thought that was hilarious. When the grandpa like wakes up and starts like sucking on her finger, I was like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is so funny that this guy's alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like whatever kind of state
whatever
he's
he
in.
is
I
in.
don't know. But it was sick.
I also heard that filming that scene was also hell for like everybody involved.
Well, I'm sure. Just like, all right, action, start yelling.
Yeah. Not just because of that, but also because they were like, you know, in Texas or wherever. I think it was Texas. Well, I'm assuming they shot in Texas, like for real.
Yes.
Because the movie. But so very hot, you know.
Yeah.
And then the guy who played Leatherface, I'm pretty sure is like not allowed to remove his mask because it's like makeup and stuff. It's not just like whatever. Yeah. So he's got to keep his mask on like
I'm sure
forever.
It's nice and toasty in there.
Like I heard it was just, and then like they have literal meat out that is just meat.
Oh yeah, it's
bad time for everybody. Smelly. But maybe it helped the performances because she actually was miserable, you know. Right.
And then this really confused me at the end of the movie.
Okay.
She runs away. She gets out of the house. She's like running away, and they're all chasing her. Leatherface has his little chainsaw. Yeah. He's having a good time. The truck driver dude shows up. He's just driving down the road. He's like, oh man, I need to help this lady.
Yeah.
And he like gets out to like help her. But instead of like taking her into the truck and then just like driving, they like both get out and then proceed to try to run away. That just made no sense to me. Why aren't we in the big semi truck running away?
Well, maybe he's
driving away.
I mean, it could be like any number of things.
I guess.
You know, just like running. Maybe he wanted to get out and he thought she was crazy and just wanted to be like, hey, calm down. And then immediately was like, oh, a dude. And then ran.
Yeah, I guess. You know, anyway, he ends up dying, right?
No, I don't. I think he just hits him in the head. He makes him cut his leg, and then he just like runs. I don't know if he actually dies.
Anyway, and then the chick just like hops on somebody
else's truck,
and they drive away, and they drive away. I was like,
but the truck driver does run over the brother from the beginning who cuts his hand.
He that was sick. Yeah. He like totally gets him good. Yeah,
but yeah.
Strange film.
I love the little dance he does at the end with the chainsaw, and he's just like going, and he's just like, waving it like crazily. I actually thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, interesting movie. Definitely not what I was expecting, but it was welcome.
Yeah. I mean, if you just look at the tone from the beginning to the end, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Totally. 4 years later.
4 years in 1978, probably the most iconic horror film ever.
Yeah.
Comes out.
Real big. They're still making them. One came out like last week.
Halloween by John Carpenter.
Yeah.
This movie kind of rocks.
Yeah?
Kind of rocks.
Low key?
No, high key.
High key.
It rocks. What's
high
that?
Key.
Oh, there we go. So, yeah, this was my introduction to Michael Myers.
You didn't see Shrek?
I have seen Shrek.
Okay.
So I have that under my belt.
Yeah.
What to say? I don't know. Just this. Obviously, it's got the iconic theme. Everybody knows. That one's like obviously the one that everybody knows. That my favorite one is like towards the end when it's like don't, and when he's like walking up the stairs and stuff. Yeah. I love that one. That one's cool. Jamie Lee Curtis is cool in this. This is like her first movie.
Oh, maybe.
Right?
I know that she's following in her mom's footsteps from Psycho.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So she was cool, I thought. The kills, a lot of the kills are sweet. It gets... It's not like, I mean, you know, I wouldn't say a lot of these movies are like very scary, like by today's standards
Yeah.
of like what we have now. But the scene near the end where she's running around the house finding all the bodies of like her friends and stuff, that's quite frightening.
When I was a child, specifically, I remember this very, very specifically.
Yeah.
It was the girlfriend or whatever who was stuffed in the cupboard, you know, and she had her neck kind of cricked like this. When I was a kid, that one like scarred me. I was like, oh no, you know. And then there's a scene right after that where she backs into the corner and Michael is in the shadow.
Oh,
and
yes, I know.
Just his mask becomes illuminated.
That's
you know,
great stuff.
Great stuff. I mean, that whole last like 15 minutes is like
in the house is
what you're there
really
for.
cool.
I know there's this video online of a screening from like
I saw that.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the live reaction. It was uploaded on YouTube like 10 years ago.
It's so cool.
And it starts off like right when after she like thought she killed Michael Myers.
She stabs him with the coat hanger and he's laying there.
And he lays on his back and then she's sitting there crying thinking it's over and then he slowly gets up
and everyone's like,
yeah.
it's so cool.
It's very, very cool to hear that authentic audio, how it was back then.
Yeah.
It's very, very sweet to
It's
look
awesome.
at that. It's such a cool piece of media. I hope it doesn't
Yeah,
get lost.
just look it up on YouTube.
yeah, just Halloween reaction. You'd probably find it, you know?
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Very sweet. But yeah, she's, I don't know if we really explained, but like, what'd you think of the opening? I wanted to say.
Oh,
Like, did you expect that, you know, or whatever?
No. Well, I expected from a lot of these movies a lot of like the POV stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know we'd be doing like long like POV
Yeah.
like stuff like that. It was cool, and I didn't know that he was like a kid.
Yeah, at the beginning, like, it's from back then, and then he got
and
taken
kills
away.
his sister, and then he goes to his crazy place.
I've always thought that outfit with the little kid with the knife was just like such an iconic like look.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of art people do of like that, and I just think it's like such a cool aesthetic with that because it's
Yeah.
Halloween and everything. I always really, really enjoyed that. And
right on Halloween.
the other thing I wanted to point out was how scary just because Michael Myers is he walks, you know.
He walks.
I know
everywhere. He's
there's
big.
yeah, he's a big guy. He's sometimes he's just in the distance, like behind a shrub, you know, stuff like
Yeah.
that. He's like walking. I know there's a scene where he's like carrying bodies into the house to like clean them up, and he's like all the way in the distance, and it's like kind of a spooky shot because you can imagine yourself being at your window and seeing that, you know,
Yeah.
and being like, oh,
And he's just got that like blue jumpsuit and then the mask.
then it's like the pitch white mask. Yeah,
You want to talk about the mask, like the history behind the mask? You know about that?
sure.
So I read that
Yeah.
the mask is originally it was for what's his name from Star
Shatner.
Trek. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shatner's. It was gonna be a Kirk mask.
Yeah, yeah.
From Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up like not using it or whatever, so they just got it and then they like painted it white or whatever.
they messed it
that's
up a
the
little
mask,
bit,
and it's
yeah.
like the scariest thing
It is
ever.
freaky.
And I also heard that like after they finished the movie, since it was like a super low budget, like whatever movie
Yeah,
that ended up
very,
like
very
totally
low.
blowing up.
That's like was kind of John
They
Carpenter's
just like
MO.
threw the mask out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just no one knows where it is. It's probably just gone forever. So like
Yeah.
all the masks in the rest of the films are just like new masks. The
Trust me.
original Halloween mask is just like gone forever.
You can tell. In one of the movies, the mask is like, whoa.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think that's a cool little thing. Like the OG Halloween mask is forever gone until somebody
On the
claims they
screen,
find
it's
it.
still there.
It's always going to be in the movie though.
Speaking of the mask, I thought another thing that was very creepy in this movie was the breathing in the mask.
Yeah.
There's the-
He's definitely a mouth breather. He's going to have to get that checked out.
well, it's probably because it's getting hot and then he needs to under the mask.
it's true.
But it doesn't come across as like annoying. You know, it comes across as terrifying because they could definitely have overdone it.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, okay, like stop breathing in my ear. But the way they do it is just gets your heart pumping. I was even watching it and I was like, my heart's racing, even though I've seen this movie like a million times.
Yeah.
Because it just gets you.
The other thing that's just like genius about this is it's almost 1980 at this point, and no one has ever thought to name a movie just Halloween.
I mean, sure.
And like, just like the premise of like the movie is on Halloween. Halloween is the day when everybody dresses up, and like you're like, yeah, okay. So if you see someone dressed up super scary, you're like, oh, it's just Halloween, whatever.
Yeah, I drove here like this. I'm sure people.
So
know it.
Michael Myers, being the smart guy that he is like, oh, it's Halloween. Everyone's just gonna think I'm dressed up, but I'm actually just gonna be killing people the
I
whole
don't,
time.
I don't know if that was his motivation, but
That's what he was thinking.
yeah.
And yeah, I was like, man, That's such an easy thing to think about, but no one did it until now.
Yeah.
And they could have named it whatever, but they named it Halloween, and now like, someone says Halloween, and it's like one of the first things you think of is the movie. It was very smart for them just to name the film Halloween, because they could have named it whatever. Like they could have named it the Myers Murders.
Yeah, the Myers Murders, the
killing of Jamie Lee Curtis, but not really because she doesn't die in the movie.
But not. The almost death of Laurie
the guy that hides behind the bushes.
The Shatner killer.
But
But yeah. Terrific film.
Great. Very good.
Still making them, so must have
They
been
still
good.
make them.
Must have been
They
good.
still make them. These are huge movies.
I mean, they still technically make Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Psycho has like offshoots,
Right.
Still going.
But Halloween is like the one. That's like the one.
Yeah, because our next one is kind of dead. For the most part, it's pretty dead because of legal issues, not because nobody has interest, but because all the rights are like done up and tied up in all this stupid stuff. Of course, I'm talking about 1980, Friday the 13th from Sean S. Cunningham.
Ooh.
It's Jason, our favorite slasher, Jason from
That's
the
what I
Friday
thought.
the 13th series.
It's not. Jason's not in
thought?
the movie. Well, he is.
Well, he is, but he's not a slasher.
But he's not. I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out in this movie, it's Jason's little mom.
It's his mother.
His mom is the
Mrs.
one killing everybody.
Voorhees.
I was like, dang, what the heck?
I know.
So that was a cool little twist that was happening.
Yeah.
Because I was really confused. I was like, when are they showing Jason? I thought
When's this
Jason.
hockey mask
I
gonna
was
show
like, what's
up?
up?
Were you expecting the hockey mask and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all I knew. I was like,
Right.
yeah, Jason, Friday the 13th, whatever.
You
No,
don't even
it's
have a
his
hockey mask
mom,
in
and
too.
she don't even wear anything. She just got her little sweater on.
Sweater, and she's got the like knife at her hip. I'm like, that's a look. You're serving looks, Pamela.
Yeah.
It works.
She's got the fit. She's fitted up.
The interesting thing that I like about this movie is that, as opposed to like Halloween, I'm pretty sure, and even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, people are dying really early on in this movie, and they stay dying throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Just nobody catches on until the last 15 minutes.
That was one thing that I did like, is that they never find like someone else's body. I was like, are they ever gonna find like this
Right.
person's body? Like, no, I guess not.
But it just keeps kind of ramping up, and it keeps you invested because you know that they're being picked off, you know? So I thought that was like a really, really cool thing to do because it keeps you totally in there in the action, and it gives you like scares.
Yeah.
But they don't know shit. Like literally, it's like until the final two that they find out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then they get her.
yeah, they get her. She comes up.
Chop the head off.
So did you have some sort of reaction when like she walked in the screen? Like, did you catch on like right away, or was it like when she said her first sentence?
Well, no, I was like, who's this?
Yeah, right.
I was like,
yeah.
okay,
Did I
whatever.
forget a character?
And then she was like, she says something wherever, like, Jason.
My son Jason
and I
used to
was
go
like,
to this
I was
camp.
like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh.
Catch on. Cool.
That's a very cool thing that they did.
Yeah, so she's just a normal old lady, and that's why she had to take them on one by one.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, she probably would have easily got overpowered. You
Like
know?
she did.
Like she did, and she got her head
Also,
lopped.
I don't know. I don't remember what she got her head cut off with. It wasn't like a knife.
It wasn't.
Well, I don't think so.
I thought it was like just like a machete. I don't know.
Either way, it's just a movie. I get it. I'm just gonna nitpick a little bit. It's one swipe, and her whole head is gone from like this teenage girl.
We don't know how strong she is.
I'm sorry, but The Rock can't cut somebody's head off with one swipe.
You
of a
don't think
machete.
The Rock could cut off an old lady's head, and we could assume that the weapon was like sharpened to its greatest, sharpness for the easiest cutting. Old lady, not old, but like what, 40s, 50s maybe.
It would be tough. I'm just saying it. Listen, the human body is very fragile, but it's also very tough.
I've seen those videos online, regrettably. Not that tough.
You've seen people just go one swipe,
Remember all those videos going around? Yeah.
one swipe of the machete. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
seen one where it was one
It
swipe.
was been really close. I saw one where it was like a little sliver, and the guy was like, "Oh man, next time." Anyway,
Anyway, that was just a thing.
yeah, no Jason yet. Well,
But-
but he comes up at the end and he goes, "Roar,"
He does. He's zombie.
and he's a zombie boy.
He's zombie man, which was cool.
And yeah, he in the sequels
There was
come out.
one kill I really liked in this one.
Yeah, what do you think?
Where the dude is laying on the bed and he's like smoking a cigarette or like,
yeah,
doing
because
something.
they had sex and he's just chilling and she was like going to the bathroom.
She's like, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And like the arrow or whatever like comes up from under and like goes through his neck.
It's very, very cool.
That was cool.
This is another film with a lot of the POV because obviously they need to hide the killer. So a ton of POV happening in this one as well, which I enjoy.
The POV stuff is always cool.
And there's only one racism, and it's like a 3-minute scene.
Nice.
And there's just the one, and then after that you can be like, I like this movie again.
There we go.
But yeah, I was gonna say though, still, except for Halloween technically, yeah, Michael Myers is like a mutant freak, but the rest of them, you're still dealing with like people, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So far we're just like in people territory, with the Michael Myers being like, he was really strong and he survived getting shot. You know,
he gets shot like 6 times. He gets stabbed. Yes. I mean, he's like, dude,
that's like his thing. So
you don't die.
But still, like, we're not seeing anything crazy, and that'll continue for the next film, Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp.
1983.
This was a movie.
Robert Hiltzik. Now, I will say right off the bat, I was really on the fence about including this on the list or not, for obvious reasons if you know the film. But why don't we just do the rundown? Sleepaway Camp, they go to camp. It's a bunch of kids. And then a bunch of people start getting murdered, and then you find out who the murderer is. Like, that's the movie.
Yeah. I have one thing about this film. Listen. I don't know what it was like in 1980. 83.
Yeah.
The 80s. But I would just assume that I'm assuming the motto would be the same throughout most of history. If you're like at like a child's camp and someone is quite obviously murdered, the camp is over.
Yeah, camp closed.
Camp is over. Everybody go home.
Yeah.
But like 3 people get murdered and the like owner of the camp is like, nah, it's fine. We'll just keep it going. Sweep it under the rug. It's cool. And the next day all the kids are like, having fun and stuff. Yeah. What?
Well, I don't know if they're having fun. The kids are very cruel in this film.
That's like my one thing. It's like the camp should just be ended. But the kills in this movie are very good. All of them are very good.
These kills are probably some of the most like brutal, honestly. Specifically the one, which is just very bad. Which ones did you like?
The very first one with the corn water
on the fat guy's face.
That was sick. And that was like really gross.
It was. And he like deserved it because he was like a pedophile.
Yeah, he was a fucking loser.
Yeah.
I when he comes out and he's like going in the corner, I was like, I hope he falls in it. And he did.
There you go.
And that was very cool. So yeah, whatever. There's the bees one. I hate bees.
Yeah, you do.
So that one really made my skin crawl. And then there's the curling iron. The
curling iron is like by far wow.
But she also kind of deserved it. So am I upset about it?
You can't say that. She was a child.
Judy?
People get to learn and grow. She did not get to be
Judy was kind of a bitch.
Assaulted but with a turned on curling iron until she died. That's no good. Now the kids who threw rocks at people, you know, like the 5-year-olds, they are a different story. And they're I mean, I get that they made theirs like lame because like they're so young, because it's like you just see the sleeping bags and they're just like torn up sleeping bags, like that's it. But I'm kind of glad because I was like,
well, yeah,
it's like you don't need to go further than that, but you know what it is. And then I mean the last guy's death isn't that bad either.
She's just holding his head.
So at the end of the film, you find out our protagonist, Angela.
I knew this, by the way. I caught on the first kill. I was like, dude, it's Angela. Of course she's doing it.
Yeah. You caught on to that.
Yeah.
Was Angela.
Okay. If you honestly know nothing about this film, and you predict the last shot of the film,
you deserve a prize.
You deserve like the Nobel Peace Prize because you are a genius and you need to be in like a museum for being so smart.
You'd have to be pretty smart. So they figure out, they're like, oh, we got to get to her. It's like the police and like somebody else. We got to get to her. She's on the beach. And they walk up and she's naked and she's holding the dude's head. She turns around and it's a extremely creepy shot because they switch actors and it is like a man wearing like this plastic mask of Angela for the movie. It's supposed to be Angela. We find out, oh, Angela was her aunt like raised him as a girl, and so that's how like she lived her life. And you see him and he's naked and it's all out there and he's holding the severed head. Her mouth is like totally agape. Like, how do you even do that? Super creepy.
And then it like goes green.
Freeze frames, goes green, credits, end of the movie.
And it was like, okay, turn it off.
I don't want to look at that. So you have to talk about, like, obviously, especially now, it's like, where does this like movie land? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna make any definitive statement because I don't really think it's my place.
Yeah.
But the sentiments that I've seen is that, for one, this is a character who is tormented by all of those around her. And it's not actually technically shown. Like, it's a crazy, and it's obviously a shocking reveal, and that's probably all they thought about it. But they even show, like, homosexuality in this film a little bit. And it's not even, at least I didn't think it was like, oh, homosexuality bad. It was just like, oh, look, gay people. You know what I mean? Mm. So I kind of ended up giving the film the benefit of the doubt in that way because it showed like the plight of him being raised as a girl by his like just crazy aunt. Cause
very, very creepy.
Lost his family in like it was like a boating accident.
They get ran over with a boat.
Yeah, that's like the opening, right?
Yeah.
And so it's stuff like that, and I tend to just give the film, like I said, the benefit of the doubt, and that it's not trying to be so derogatory. And I think it's, a type of character that can be almost reclaimed, as someone to be like, oh, yeah, this is cool,
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's all I have to say about
I would agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Very strange film.
Very, very
interesting
strange
choice at the end there.
Oh, wow.
Quite a choice. I actually freaked out.
There's more, though. The sequels, I do not give them the same credence. The sequels to this film, not it.
Oh, okay.
Not it.
I have not seen them, obviously.
There's some cool stuff in there, but they go weirder with that other stuff that I was talking about.
Nice.
And maybe not as good.
But yeah. This was the first one I had like a real like visceral reaction to because I was just laying there watching the movie like whatever, and then like the last shot happens and I was like laying down and I like grabbed the sides of my chair and like sat up and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. I read that originally they wanted the young female actress to wear a prosthetic. And her mom was like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really glad because it's way creepier the other way.
Yes.
Agreed. So yeah. But 1 year later, just 1 year later, we have a big dog coming in.
Oh, yes.
Jason's competition, you might say.
Oh.
We have the Nightmare on Elm Street.
I thought it was a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Maybe. Could be.
I'm pretty sure it's a
pretty sure it's a Nightmare on Elm Street. Now I say it too. From Wes Craven.
The Cravester.
I actually did all of these from memory, and I only messed up like 2 things. I was so proud of myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
This movie rocks. I loved this movie.
Yeah?
I really did.
It's our first
this movie was really great.
killer that's not just like normal,
Yeah. So Freddy Krueger, man, was a dude.
What a cool guy.
Super sick dude. He's got the sweetest little sweater on.
Mm-hmm. Nice little fedora.
He's got the cool hat. He's got some sweet acrylics on.
He is a boss ass bitch.
And he lives in this cool like boiler room.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like likes chilling with people there.
Yeah, he likes chilling with chilling. He likes touching them up and then getting burned alive by the townsfolk. He's like,
yo, look at my acrylics.
Yeah. So he was somebody who used to live in the town, and he was like a molester, and so all the families got together and it's like, oh, let's burn this molester. And they did it. And then now he haunts the town.
Yeah. But the secret is he only can get to you in your dreams.
Mm-hmm. What a cool idea.
It is. It's just really cool.
It is.
But like what he does to you in the dream like happens to you in real life. That's kind of how it works.
He gets like stronger and stronger like the more you dream about him, it seems, or that's just the pace of the movie.
Because eventually kind of like
it's like daydreaming and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it gets like a little different.
Yeah.
But I like this movie's still. I mean, 1984. This holds up big time.
We got Johnny Depp in there.
Number one, Johnny Depp's in this movie. Wow, did not know that. He's a little tiny baby in this movie.
He's so young.
He's such a little baby.
Yeah.
He wears like crop tops. Very cool.
Perfect.
The very first kill, I was like freaking out because it was so cool.
Give me a quick reminder. Of
The one girl, the first girl that dies, is like chilling, and she's like, "Oh, I had this weird dream. Let me sleep over at your house, friend." She's like, "Okay." So her and Johnny Depp are in one room, and her and the other dude are in the other room, and she's like chilling, and they were just like sleeping next to each other. And she starts dreaming about Freddy, and Freddy's like, "Yo, what's up?" And she starts freaking out, and the dude's like, "Yo, what's wrong?" And then it's just like a close up, and she gets like just sliced all the way up, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Just in front of his eyes.
And then he like freaks out, and like blood spraying everywhere, and he like backs up to the corner of the room, and then she gets like picked up and is
into,
like
the ceiling,
like
and,
getting like flipped around the room, and
Yeah.
I was like, "How did they do this?"
Right, and that continues. Of course, Johnny Depp's death in the film is a big one.
Oh, so sick.
He just sinks into the bed, and then just like it's like pouring out a cup of Kool-Aid. You know?
Yeah, they just blast like 50 gallons of blood. And I heard that was an accident.
Yeah.
That originally it was supposed to just like pool up and then just like flow over the sides,
Yeah.
but like someone messed up and just like laser cannoned it in the ceiling, which is way cooler.
It is way cooler.
But
Like,
I don't know, that might not be true. I don't know. But yeah, this movie's sick. The gore is awesome. It's so gross.
It's the first one that like really takes the visuals and runs with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Freddy is disgusting.
Still one of my favorite shots, maybe like ever, is just the claw coming up through the bathtub.
Oh, yes.
It's just so iconic.
Yeah,
you know
the
what
claw.
I mean?
I was like, yo, yeah.
that like
absolutely.
that's it. I still absolutely love it, you know.
That's great. I love just the way dreams are portrayed in the film. They feel very dreamy. The one thing that actually like freaked me out the most in this one is our main character is like running away from Freddy, and she runs into her house, and she like goes to go up the stairs, but her feet like sink into the stairs in like this goop stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's way too real.
So accurate.
And I was like really squirming at that part. I was like, okay, that's very realistic.
And then the end, it gets really freaky because like her mom, she learns about the secret about the family, like, and they all like killed Freddy Krueger, you know.
Yeah.
And her mom like lights on fire, I want to say, and is like a husk of a human, and Freddy's like, I'm out.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the dad there is, and he's the cop, and he's like, "Oh, what's going on over there?"
Right. Because she's like, "Hey, you need to come over."
And the
he's
windows
like,
are all
"Stop it."
barred, and she's like, "Ah."
Right, because they think
know.
she's crazy. She's not.
She's not. Nancy is one of my favorite like final girls. You know.
Yeah, she's
she,
cool.
She really takes things into her own hands. You know, it's awesome to see stuff like that. It's something that you see become more and more prevalent the closer and closer to the present you get, which is awesome. I love that.
Absolutely. Nightmare on Elm Street.
What do you think of the ending? Very, very ending. She gets into the car.
Oh, I freaked out. I was like, yes, they got Freddy. Awesome. They get in the car and like they pull the thing down, and I saw the color scheme of the thing, and I was like, wait, no. Maybe it's just like the color scheme, but I was like, this doesn't feel right. And then like everything locks, and I was like, no.
And she's like, ah.
And they're like, oh, we need to get out. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's over.
And that's a Nightmare on Elm
ends.
Street.
Yeah. Awesome movie. I was not expecting to like this one that much. Totally caught me off guard. I love this movie.
You should definitely check out the rest. There's
huge
especially ones that I don't know how much you would like, but you should definitely check them out because for some reason I feel like you'd like the new Nightmare, which is one that's a little bit later on. I don't want to spoil what it's about, but it's a cool thing. Again, the second one I spoke about on the show, it's like the black sheep. Everyone kind of ignores it. Even when they go back to the third, they're like, yeah, second movie didn't happen. So it's interesting in its own way.
Cool.
But yeah, I would be very happy if you would check them out. You would keep us up to date.
Yeah, I would definitely do the Nightmare movies because I like those very much.
Sweet. 4 years later?
4 years later, Spider-Man made a movie.
Yes. Peter Parker himself from the MCU directed a film.
He did. I bet you didn't know that.
Good old Tom Holland. Okay, not that Tom Holland. He's probably
Different Tom Holland.
barely alive. if at all.
1988 made Child's Play with Chucky. Everyone knows Chucky.
This was like the scary movie to me when I was like a kid, because obviously I had like action figures and dolls and stuffed animals and
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
So this fucked me up.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what if my thing's a Charles Lee Ray?
Right. Not me, obviously. Never saw it. I didn't like this movie.
Like at all?
Not
You
really.
didn't even think it was funny?
There was one part that I laughed at.
Yes, and it's the best part. Anyway, okay, guys, if you really don't know, movie starts off, there's a cop chasing a guy. He's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Cop shoots him in the head. Well, not in the head, but like in the chest a bunch.
Shoots him.
And in his dying breath, he like shouts an incantation into this doll at this store that they're in.
Yeah.
And the guy dies. They're like, oh, well, case closed. Fast forward, mom gives the doll to her kid. He's like, I love it, but the murderous soul is in there. And he needs to kill and totally get his life back together. And he finds out that he needs a human body to be his new vessel, you know? So he's like, oh, I'll go to that kid and get him. And that's like the movie, right? So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 or 4 kills only, right? It's not that many.
The first one,
Is that-
the lady falls out the window.
Like the aunt or friend or whatever.
Aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Well,
maybe
I thought
he
it was
just calls
aunt.
her aunt.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
She falls out the window because Chucky scares her.
Well, it
makes
scares her
sense.
with a hammer in the face.
Right, yeah, hits her in the face with a
Yeah.
hammer. And
I'd be
then she
scared.
falls out the window.
Yeah. You didn't think that was like bombastic and like, wow. What a...
I was like, it really happened. She felt like, because she was pretty far away from the window.
She was.
She got hit, but I was like, dang, she must have got hit pretty hard
Yeah.
to go out the window.
That's the one thing is that he has, even though he's a doll, he still has human male strength. You know, he still has
Yeah.
his form strength.
I'll be honest, I don't remember any other deaths because I just remember the end when it's the 3 of them. It's
Well, he
the
blows
kid,
up the
mom.
dude in the house. He blows up the entire house with the gas. His like partner in crime, remember?
Right.
And then he stabs the black guy he stabs the voodoo doll. The black guy, he like breaks all his limbs. Remember with the voodoo doll.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
they
it's
come
coming
and
back.
like,
to me.
oh, what did you do? You know.
He's like, sorry, I'm Chucky.
Yeah, it's like, what did you expect? I'm a murderer. But the funniest part is because Andy, the kid, which is funny.
Right. Do you think they did that on purpose in Toy Story? I'm just saying.
Maybe. He's like, hey, Chucky's name is Charles Lee Ray, and he's a murderer. And the mom's like, oh, you, which is so frustrating.
You're so silly.
It's so frustrating.
And I get it. I wouldn't. If a kid said that to me, I would be like, "You're stupid. Shut up."
So he's killing people. Nobody believes him. They think the kid is killing people. You know,
mean, fair.
fair enough. But it's funny what you said because my favorite part of the movie, and my second favorite part of the movie are like right next to each other, and one of them is yours. Because there's a part where she is checking out the bag for the doll, like the box that it comes in, and batteries fall out.
Batteries are in there.
And I actually thought that was a really cool just device. And I never really like thought about that in my head as like something to even write into the movie. So I was like, oh, what a cool thing. Like the batteries are there. She's going to check and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's no batteries.
And she does. And then he has to come to and he's like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
You stupid slut. And he starts like smacking her.
Hilarious.
And she freaks out and he bites her and everything. And that's when she's like totally on the kid's side, you know, obviously. And
Yeah.
they go to try to hunt him down. But it's funny because I think that is a comedic moment, and I think it was maybe supposed to make you like.
I hope
kinda
so
laugh,
because
you
it
know?
is funny.
It's really funny. But I thought it was because I think that battery moment is such a genuine, also like tense, like, oh yeah, this is it. She's gonna find out because you're rooting
Yeah.
for her to find out, you know.
Right.
Because you obviously don't want all these people to be killed. Hopefully,
yeah.
you know. And then, of course, the end, they do kind of the Michael Myers thing where they're like, oh, it's dead. Okay, this time it's dead. Okay, now it's really dead.
Yeah, they kill him like a million times.
Yeah.
But they like shoot him.
They shoot
and
him, they're
then
like,
they
he's dead.
burn him up.
And then they cut him up.
And then, yeah, at the end, he's like 10 pieces.
And he's still kind of wriggling.
Yeah, he's trying his best.
Yeah. But I remember also that burnt up animatronic Chucky that was
It's
slowly
cool.
walking.
Very
Was
cool
very
moment.
scary as a kid.
Yeah.
But now it is cool now. You're like, oh, sweet. That's kind of
Yeah,
neat.
that part was cool.
Yeah. I had one more thing, but I don't remember. Oh, I remember. The scariest shots to me of the movie
Okay.
are when they have a little person actor dressed up in the clothes doing stuff.
Yeah.
Because they can't get a puppet or an animatronic to do it. If you like look at those, and even if you look at the still images, you're like, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It gets really, really bad. Because I'm thinking of basically the first time you see him move, he just bolts down the
he's
hall.
like,
and you're like, what the fuck
he
was
like
that?
lasers down. He's fast, man.
Yeah,
He's
it's
fast.
crazy. Well, you got to think, if he's a doll, I mean, obviously we know he like turns human as the movie goes on, but like he'd be like better in some ways. Because like, would he get tired? He doesn't have muscles. So he could just like go as hard as he wanted for as long. You know?
It's true.
He could be like a killing machine.
Could be.
Could be.
But
Anyway,
he gets killed.
Child's Play.
Maybe.
I think the following movies that come into it, especially when they drop the Child's Play moniker and just go like Chucky,
Yeah.
really a lot of them pump up the humor and can have some really funny moments in them while still having that kind of, you know, the thing that separates this from the ones except for Nightmare is like there's like set pieces, there's like explosions and shit, you know, bigger stuff going on. The movies lean into that, and it's for the betterment of like the series, I think.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Okay. 1992, Bernard Rose comes out with Candyman.
Candyman is a great movie. I think Candyman is an interesting character because Candyman has a thing where if you say Candyman's name 5 times
into the
mirror, then he'll
show up.
He'll get you.
He'll show up.
It's like a Bloody Mary thing.
Yeah. Cool movie. I liked this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know because I remember seeing the trailer for like the new Candyman, and I was like, "Well, I don't know anything about the original. This looks kind of weird. What's up with the bees?"
Yeah. And what is up with the bees still?
Yeah, the bees. I mean, they're kind of explained. Like you get it. Like he was, like the bees like got him.
Yeah, and then they like cut his hand off and like did a bunch of awful things to him.
Terrible things happened to our dude.
And he was just like a slave, right?
No,
I think he was.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one.
Pretty sure he was because he's like an olden time guy.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, he's a victim of a terrible crime. And so now he's gonna get revenge on all these losers who are like, hey, let's say his name 5 times in the mirror like an idiot.
Yeah, especially the main girl who's like doing a thesis on the guy.
Yes.
And so she's going in, and it's like a rumor amongst like the ghettos of Chicago because Child's Play and this movie take place both in Chicago. I was gonna say the title of the movie, but I can't.
You're right. Can't.
Yeah, so they both take place in Chicago. She goes snooping around there. It's just like that one TikTok. She goes behind the medicine cabinet. There's a whole other apartment, and that's where she finds all of the like mural art and stuff and all the lore.
Lore.
What happens is basically she gets like possessed by the entity, Tony Todd. And the very first scene after she's like possessed is like big horror, probably one of the scariest moments to me in like all of these films, where she wakes up, she's like in the parking garage, and he's like, hey, come hang out with me. We'll be cool. I love you. Stuff like that. And then she wakes up in a pool of blood with a knife, and there's a cut off dog head like in her lap.
Messed up.
And then you just hear like a woman screaming for her baby. That's like 100% like horrifying because totally out of the blue, like just happens. It's full 100%, you know.
Yeah, because there's not much like of anything before that point.
It's like she closes her eyes, opens. Oh, wow, blood everywhere. I might have killed a baby.
Yeah.
It's real bad, you know.
It's not good.
So you find out like the baby was kidnapped, and the guy wants to like basically like make a trade. He's like, oh, if you like give yourself up to me, baby can go. She's like, fine. And so she finds the baby. She goes to rescue it. The townspeople like burn the big pile of garbage that they're in. And I guess Candy.
Oh. Wow.
Candy.
That was close.
Candy, this tasty trick or treat Halloween.
Candy
yum
person.
yum.
Candy
person. That's just the PC way of saying it. I guess he burns alive too in there with Helen.
They burn up.
Because I remembered Helen's now because I remember the ending sequence.
The ending, I knew. So the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Helen's husband is now with girl from
Like
school.
class. Yeah, he's a professor.
Professors, one of his students.
Which, I mean, I knew that too immediately. I hated the husband the whole time. I was like, fuck this
Yeah,
guy.
he's not great.
Mm-mm.
And then all of a sudden he gets like really upset. He's like, I'm sad. My wife is dead.
Helen.
And he says like he's like in the mirror crying, and he says like Helen the first time, and I was like, say it 4 more times, I dare you. And he keeps on saying it. I was like, I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then she shows up and she's like, what's up, bitch? Cuts him up good.
Yeah, and then the girlfriend comes in and is like, oh my gosh, oh my god, how am I gonna pass my class?
It's good. It's good stuff.
Good movie.
Candyman, very drippy.
Oh yeah,
He's got the big long like coat.
He's got
like,
the cool
fur.
hook.
He's got the hook, a little drippy. Could use some cleaning up around
Yeah,
the stump
maybe,
area.
yeah.
Maybe clean that up a little bit. Shine the hook.
If I remember, he's got cool socks. I think they're like striped socks.
I don't remember if I looked at his socks.
Maybe I think they were.
Amazing voice.
Oh yeah, silky smooth.
The
Hello,
voice is so good.
Venom,
like-
Spider-Man 2. Thanks.
Yeah,
That'll be cool.
its voice is really good. Candyman is very cool. He's a cool guy.
Very sweet. Are you gonna see the new one now?
No,
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe someday,
Okay.
but I don't plan on it. I guess. Cool.
Moving on.
Okay, next film, 1996, Scream. Wes Craven again.
He's a twofer.
This movie's cool. I like this movie a lot.
What do you like about it?
Seems like Wes Craven, kind of like up my alley, I guess.
It's cool that you watched this in the right order.
I did. So I watched these in like kind of like whatever order I felt like, but it was cool because in this movie they talk about Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween
And Friday the 13th.
and Friday the 13th.
And Carrie. And
Right.
Texas
They
Chainsaw
reference a
Massacre.
lot of things, and I saw all of them before this, and I was like, oh, I get it. This
Yeah.
is cool. This film's basically like a satire of horror movies.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And it's very like self-aware, and this movie's funny.
Yeah, the movie's hilarious.
This movie's very funny.
Matthew Lillard is in it. Shaggy,
Shaggy.
as you know. And he's
Amazing.
just
I saw him, and I was like, no way.
totally killing it every single scene.
He's awesome. And then what's her name? Reporter lady, famous.
Courtney Cox.
Yes.
Gail Weathers.
Gail Weathers.
She should have been a meteorologist.
Should have been a meteorologist.
I think this script is awesome.
The very first scene is very good. I was like hooked.
opening
right?
with
The opening
Drew.
is good.
Yes, it is like just it could be a short film, fantastic. It's awesome.
It's classic
incredible.
stuff. Want to play a game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, sure.
And he asked the question. This was like right after I watched like Halloween and Friday the 13th.
What's your favorite scary movie?
She was like, "What?" She says Halloween's her favorite, and he's like, "Okay, let's play a game." And he's like, "No, don't worry, we'll do a test question
Yeah.
first." He says, "Who's the killer in Halloween?"
And she's like,
He's like, "Come on, you know this one. It's your favorite."
Michael
movie."
Myers.
And he's like, "Oh, very good.
Stop! Don't do this.
Okay, now this is the real one. Who is the killer in Friday the 13th?"
Jason! It's Jason! I know it!
Oh, sorry.
No!
Wrong answer.
No, I've seen that movie like 40 times.
If you were a real fan of the movies, you would have known that the real murderer in the first movie was Jason's mother.
Mrs. Voorhees. And she's like, but don't worry. There's another round. But sorry, Steve won't be making it. Turn on the patio lights.
Yeah. Turns on the patio light. Steve is guts out
She runs away, gets caught. Her parents are like right there. She can't scream.
because her throat's cut.
Yeah.
Or her throat's not cut. He like crushes her
Yeah,
windpipe.
yeah. So she does scream, but it's like,
Yeah, it's like because you know her throat's kind of hurting after the big choke she got.
and then by the time the parents come wise, she's like hung from a tree.
Yep, tough look. She's deaded.
Yeah, big dead. I guess I can just say this now because it's like really eating at me. You just need to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then you can watch Scary Movie, which is like a spoof movie like those ones we watched, but it's not as crazy as those. But it takes movies like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and like some other ones, and it makes fun of them all. And oh my god, especially the first one is like seriously one of my favorite. I feel like people will judge me for that, but I fucking love that movie. It's so funny, especially when you rewatch these movies and they're
Okay.
like, it's so accurate. And you can't watch the old originals anymore without thinking of scenes from the spoof and just laughing your ass off in the middle of the movie.
Is it funnier than the Starving Games?
Oh, yeah, I would say so.
No.
Only because I think the performances are like low-key actually really, really good in
My
the Scary
name's
Movie.
Cleaver.
Also, a fun thing.
Better than that.
Scream's original movie title was Scary Movie. So that's what they called the spoof.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
You
You find out there's all these murders. You have Sydney Prescott is like your main girl here.
yeah, she's cool.
She thinks it was her boyfriend who was the killer because he had
Fair.
a phone.
There's a lot of evidence that points to him.
Yeah, I would believe the same thing.
It's fair choice.
But they're at a party and a killer comes in and stabs him. So it's like, oh my god, he can't be the killer. She runs away. Oh, it all turns out. I mean, Gail's there. She's doing stuff too, but whatever. I mean, Gail's great, especially later. But
Yeah.
comes in. Oh, it's like the goofy friend. It's like, oh my gosh,
It's
what?
Shaggy.
It's Shaggy. And he comes down the steps and it's like, oh wait, it's the boyfriend too. It's both of
It's
them
both.
together, working together. Perfect. How cool and how fun.
Yeah, and she's like, great. And they're like, yeah, we're crazy. We killed your mom last year.
We love horror movies, and that's why we did it. Cause
Yeah,
it's
super fun. And then they're like, okay, stab me now.
Yeah, they're like, this is our alibi. Stab me real quick. And we can. Yeah.
And he's like, I think you went. He's like, oh man, yikes, Scoob. I think you went too deep on that one.
Yeah.
This really hurts, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. I think I'll need a Scooby snack.
And they both die.
Yeah, the one guy, he gets a TV playing Halloween on the screen.
Yes, they watch Halloween in the movie.
Smashed on his head. The other guy gets shot in the chest and in the head. The one thing I would change maybe, but like literally the only thing, is that the virgin friend is like, oh, careful, this is the part where the killer gets up one last time. And then he gets up and he goes, and then she shoots him. I would have preferred if she just shot the dead body like 4 more times and then said, not in my movie.
That would
That
would be cool.
I would have liked it more if they didn't actually have him get up. She was just like, let's just right now. Pop, pop,
Yeah,
pop, pop.
that would have been funny.
But
I would have enjoyed that.
And then the
too.
movie real wraps up super quick after that. It's just a report.
Yeah,
Hey,
Weathers is like,
this is
hey,
what
I'm at
happened.
the house.
Sunset, everything's fine.
I killed somebody.
Yeah. It's like, it's super sweet. Would they even let the reporter do that?
Probably not.
Probably not.
She's probably have to be questioned.
But she's Gail Weathers.
That's true. She can do whatever she
Eyewitness
wants.
news,
Yeah.
Scream, I mean, funny. Fantastic.
It's a great
awesome.
movie. Very good.
There's people who don't like it and they're dumb.
They are dumb.
Because it's like, they're like, oh, it uses cliches. Really?
Yes, that is the idea.
Another thing that I liked about this movie, I was kind of saying earlier, is that it feels like they give every victim like a chance,
Yeah.
like they'll tackle the killer or they'll slide, away from him or they'll do something. And it's just, they just have to make one mistake and then the killer catches up to him,
Yeah.
And I like that everyone's not just like a helpless, can't do anything. They actually, they get a chance.
I agree. There's one part though that I thought was really funny, where our main character is talking about. She's like, "Oh, I don't really like watching scary movies. The girls always make such stupid decisions all the time. Like why run up the stairs when the front door is like right there? You can just run out the front door." And then like literally in the next scene, Ghostface is there, like chasing her, and she runs up the stairs instead of going out the door. I was like, that's just classic.
Which is fair because like she did go for the front door, but it was locked, and instead of just unlocking it, she's like, "Okay, upstairs."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
It is. And then there's actually like, there's stuff like that where it's like cliche spoken and then like performed. It's kind of interesting.
It's a cool movie.
Yeah. For sure.
Speaking of cool movies, James Wan is the director. He's made a lot of cool movies. We've talked about a few of them. Furious 7, one of the GOATs. Love
Aquaman.
it. Aquaman.
I talked about The Conjurings.
The Conjuring. But it all started way back in the day, 2004. I made Saw.
Saw. Did you see Saw?
I see Saw.
Saw 2004. This one is also one that is kind of a weird one for the slasher thing because it's very indirect.
Yes. And this movie also not what I was expecting.
What? Okay.
Well, because Saw, at least from my perspective, because I knew nothing about this movie, obviously. I just, from everything that anyone ever says about Saw, it seems like it's just like torture porn.
Okay.
That's what I thought. This movie is not like that at all.
And there's some.
I mean, there's some, but it's not like all there is. There's actually like
It's not like Hostel. That would be like Hostel. What you're looking for.
yeah. But yeah, this movie was pretty cool. I liked it. Just the whole idea of like the two people just like wake up in a room.
And it's like I like how it starts as a mystery that actually gets solved like halfway, basically.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is like, okay, let's get out now. you
Yeah.
know?
And then obviously there's the final revelation.
So we have like a doctor guy and as far as we know, a random guy.
Yeah.
And they wake up in the room. They're chained. Like, what's happening? They get there's like a recording. They play it. It's like, oh, let's play a game. You have to kill the other guy in the room. Like that's like the game. It's like do it and you win. Whatever.
Well, the doctor says that you can get out if you kill the other dude.
Yes.
The other dude doesn't like know about that.
Yeah, it is true.
He's like, you just need to get out. Okay.
Right, escape. And so they do that. They find out that like he was like taking pictures of him because he was like told to by like a detective who was on the Jigsaw case.
Yep.
You find out that his wife and daughter have been taken, the doctors, so he's got a lot on the line now. And you know that Jigsaw was actually like hunted and almost got caught, like really, really close
Very
to getting
close.
caught. He had to pull out the good old Ezio hidden blade and give a little shanky to the detective.
And the shotgun tripwire.
The shotgun tripwire.
That was
like
nasty.
4 or so, like hanging from the ceiling.
Dude hits it, and dude gets blasted. It
Yeah.
is like big nasty. I was like, yeah,
Sucks because that's a great guy. I remember.
yeah, he was cool.
He
I
was
liked
very
him. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Sometimes you just hit the tripwire and 4 shotguns just shoot you in the face.
And then you also have the character who survived the game, Amanda,
Yeah, the girl.
And she had her trap was like we can talk about the traps.
She has this like helmet
Reverse bear
on.
trap.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, think of it like a reverse bear trap, and it's like in her mouth.
Yeah.
And if once she gets up from her chair, like sets off a timer,
Mm-hmm.
and she has to get the key and unlock it before the timer's up, otherwise it's gonna open up
Open
and
and,
like basically
Crank
rip
her
head in
jaw.
half.
It's gonna make her look like Angela at the sleepaway camp.
Yeah. But the key is inside of the stomach of another person in the room who is in like a comatose state. They can't really like feel anything, but they're still alive.
Yeah. So at first she thought it was like just like a dead body. I
Yeah, but
think.
then they like wake up and they're like,
they're like,
"Ooh."
oh.
And I'll be honest, I mean, if it was me, I'm sorry, dude. I'm chopping you up. Just like our girl did. She went in there and she
Yeah.
got it.
That one is like almost.
It's fair.
Here's the thing, though. Compared to the others, that's like an easy one.
Yeah, okay. Because there's the one where I was like, that's so not right. There's one where this dude wakes up and he's like totally naked. And
A lot of them, they're naked, actually.
the whole floor is glass, like shards. And he's covered in this like oil. And the only thing he has to light the room is a candle. But he's covered in like extremely flammable like oil thing, whatever.
And it's this big room, and there's a safe in the middle. It has like the key to leave or whatever.
Yeah, but he's like, you need the combination. The combination is on the walls. There's like a million
It's
numbers
literally
written
like
on the
maybe
walls.
a room the size of this room.
Yeah.
Like, probably even a little bit bigger, actually.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like the numbers are maybe as big as like your hand. So imagine your hand on every like corner of your wall.
And the whole wall is just filled. And he's
And it's
like,
like
the
there it
code's
is.
there.
Also,
But-
if you don't do it in like 5 minutes,
Yeah. And, you know, if you accidentally like
spill
the
the
knife
thing.
or the knife, the
can-
flame like hits you at all, even the slightest, you're just lighting up.
So that's what happened to that guy.
Yeah. That game, kind of unfair.
Yeah. And then the other one is like this guy is naked, I think,
He's
again.
naked.
And he's in the middle of this barbed wire maze.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have 3 minutes, escape, get out, untangle yourself and leave, and then you're good. If you don't, it'll close and you'll die.
He doesn't make it.
He does try, though.
He gets close.
They said that it was like, I remember this line specifically. They're like, yeah, he cut so deep that there's like stomach acid on the floor. Like that's how deep it like
Ugh,
pierced his stomach.
that's so
And he was like
gross.
kind of a stocky dude. That's deep.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the games not very fair.
Also, yeah, what about the guy who had to get gutted? Did he already lose a game, or was his game like, hey, try not to get stabbed in the stomach?
It's the guy that got gutted.
Amanda's guy that she killed. Like, what did he
Oh,
do?
yeah. He
Because his whole thing is supposed to be that, like, you know, he'll give you a chance. Didn't seem like that guy had a chance.
right, yeah. Unless he did, like you said.
And
he
then they
put
just
him, he's like,
transport
okay,
him.
time for you to let's
Yeah.
see if this person can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the game that our main characters are in, also not very fair.
Very convoluted. This one's which makes sense because there's more personal. The
Um,
other ones are a little more detached.
Yeah. So you find out like halfway through like who I guess you think who Jigsaw is.
Mm-hmm.
He like captures the doctor's family and does all these terrible things. You find out all the stuff. But then you find out that it's not him.
Mm-mm.
It's just the dead dude that's been on the floor the whole time.
Yeah. He just gets up.
And he's like, yeah, by the way, it was me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And then he just goes like, game over, I think. He goes,
Yeah. He's going to get him.
yep.
The one dude already cut his foot off, so he was
Mhm.
probably done for anyway.
What? We don't know. Well, I mean, I know because I've seen the sequels.
Interesting. Yeah. Good on him. Good on Jigsaw for like staying completely still the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe it was actually like a drug that he took that like put him in a coma until like this time, like 6 or
But he
whatever.
had to zap him.
Well, no, the other guy was.
Oh,
in
I guess
control
yeah,
of
the
that.
other guy could have zapped him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. That's smart. Smart
Yeah,
play by Jigsaw.
it
Good
is.
stuff, man.
I know that personally, I do like a lot of the Saw movies. Obviously, recently they've been, further you get, they're not as good. But I sincerely think the first three as like a trilogy is like a really solid trilogy, and I enjoy it a lot. So
Oh, the first three all James Wan.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not, honestly. But I like all the first three, and I have them all. So if you ever want to watch the other two, the second one actually might be my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Is because it's got an interesting thing going on in it too. So if you ever want them, just ask, and they shall be yours.
Okay, cool.
That does it.
Yeah. Saw was cool. I liked it. It was a good movie. Not better than Nightmare on Elm Street though. My favorite.
Should we rank them then?
We can. We got a lot of cool, fun little ranking things. That
Yeah,
we're gonna do.
we think. Yeah.
We think they'll be fun. We'll rank all the films from our favorite to least favorite.
Yes.
Least
Are we
favorite
gonna
to
do
favorite.
together list? Why not? Let's do a together list.
We can, but we might have some
Yeah, sure.
ones here. So I have my list written right here. You just want to go through mine and you can make revisions?
Yeah.
I got number 10, Child's Play. Fuck
Okay.
that movie. Then I have Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Then I have Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, Candyman, Psycho, Saw, Halloween, Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street.
I would put Halloween down one. I would switch Sleepaway Camp and Friday the 13th, and then you're basically where I'm at.
You'd put Saw above Halloween?
Yes. But again, I have the whole franchise behind it. You know what I mean?
True. I'm just talking about the OG.
Yeah. But I can't detach it enough.
Okay, we can switch Friday and Sleepaway Camp, but I'm going to have to stand my ground on Halloween
Sure,
and
as
Saw.
long as you switch Friday, sure.
Okay. That's
'Cause
fair.
That I have the whole franchise too, to be honest. So those are my two that I've seen
Yeah.
all.
That's good. That's a good list.
Yeah. What else do we got?
We're doing Drippy. Who's got the most drip of
Well,
all the killers?
Candyman.
Candyman, but who's got the least?
Fuck!
What?
I said his name.
Oh shit!
I'm done, guys. What is there a time limit? You're seriously your whole life, as long as there's a mirror, it's only 5 times?
I don't know.
I think it has to be like,
I'm thinking.
so I think I'm safe.
Okay. We already said that Candy Person has the best drip of
Yeah,
all of them.
he's
I would
looking
say
good.
close second. Mike Myers.
Michael Myers, really?
I think he kind of drippy with that jumpsuit.
It
He just
depends.
kind of walks around with the swagger that not a lot of
If he's
other
got
killers
the
have.
kitchen knife, then yeah, because it adds a little glint.
And he's got
you
the
know?
song.
Because the song doesn't count.
It's
That's
part
a
of the
separate,
drip.
That's
It's part
a
of the
separate
drip.
list. That is a separate list.
But it adds to the drip.
Okay.
We
Well,
can do soundtracks for a different list, sure.
then why? Then we can't include the soundtrack in this one. Then.
But we can because it's part of the drip.
No, it's either we do a different list or
There's
the
no
soundtrack.
Michael Myers with that.
I'm not. This is where I'm taking a stand. Either we do them both in the same where
Dun.
drip is included.
Dunna. Dunna.
I don't know. I don't think. Well, he's obviously not better than Candy Person, But I honestly think that Mrs. Voorhees has it kind of going on.
She got the fit.
And the hairdo, it's real tight, it's real
It is
compact,
really nice.
it's cute. Her looks really working for her, and that's her after killing like 10 people.
It's true.
Like
she still looks really good.
She really keeps it together.
All right,
so she's up there as well. Who's the worst?
Got the worst strip?
Ghostface.
It's terrible.
I mean,
Ghostface
it's
is terrible.
literally
He's got, like,
dollar
this-
store.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I bought this at the store.
What are you doing?
Stupid.
Get out of here.
Ghostface
Wait.
really bad,
But Jigsaw though.
but he's got the cool mask. The Ghostface mask is not cool.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, but Jigsaw's cool is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, you mean for best strip?
Yeah, I think he's up there. Well, here's
No,
the thing.
it's just
It's
a
like the
doll.
doll is the doll, but what about the pig?
No.
You don't think I thought the pig was pretty scary.
Yeah, but is it drippy?
Is it drippy? That's true. Is it sopping?
Not very drippy.
It's not very sodden.
No.
Maybe slovenly.
You know who's really bad?
Who?
Leatherface.
Leatherface is
That's
bad.
He's got a repulsive fit.
The makeup is not working.
The skin, human skin for a
Need
mask.
some lotion. Put some lotion on
Yeah.
that thing.
That's just not. He's not looking great.
It's not good. I mean, Angela. This camp outfit.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do though? You're at camp.
You're at camp. It's
Not that one's not really
fair.
fair.
Got to. Freddie.
Freddie. It just depends.
He has it going on later.
He
There's
can kind of pull it off.
on his rap album. He's got some real ice and stuff. And he looks real good on that album, which is a real
Okay.
thing that I don't think you're believing me about.
I think the hat is cool.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to pull off.
The sweaters. I don't know. The sweater's kind of tough for me.
The sweater's a little out.
color
but the,
scheme,
but the,
I don't
not, the acrylics.
The acrylics is what brings it back.
So he's got like one step forward, back, 2 steps forward for me.
yeah. So one step forward
So 1 step forward, one small step for man.
for Fredster.
Who did we touch? Norman Bates. The
I
mom
wouldn't
fit
say-
goes hard.
He kind of drippy. He's the most handsome
Sure.
of all the killers.
Yeah.
He's the best looking physically.
I mean, you don't think what was his name? Billy from Scream? You don't think he's handsome?
I mean, he's not as handsome as
Norman.
Andrew Garfield in the past.
Past Andrew Garfield. Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. He kind of got the fits.
Chucky.
No.
Low tier, bottom
I'm
tier.
totally out on everything Chucky.
I like the shoes. That's about it.
Okay.
The shoes are. They got a cowboy hat and a gun on them, and like a horse or something.
They
That's
do.
Good.
That's true.
That's good.
Chucky, not big on.
What else we got? Who's the most dangerous? The most.
Okay, so if you were in like a one-on-one, or you had to choose, let's just say you had to choose to be in a one-on-one situation with any of the killers in these movies.
Okay.
Who do you think you would have like the best chance against? And you're in their situation. So if you choose Jigsaw, you're in one of his traps, or in like whatever. If you choose Freddy, there's no like I just wouldn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like you're falling asleep.
Do I still have my knowledge of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen all the movies, and I'm like, oh, it's just like the movie. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
If I had to choose,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, well, Psycho, it would be weird, but it would either have to be Child's Play or Sleepaway Camp. Because the doll, I'm afraid of other people still not believing me. Sleepaway Camp is just like still like a kid.
Yeah, but just take him on. That's my thing with Child. She's a doll. He's a little tiny doll. I get it. He's kind of strong.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just fucking get in your car and run him over.
But he just get up.
Then take.
Actually, I think that happens in one of the movies.
He gets run over.
And then he like crawls through the wheel well and like crawls up and like gets in the car.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I just feel like Chucky would be easy.
Actually, that is one of the parts of that movie that I actually liked, where he's stabbing through the car seat and the guy's like,
Oh, he's like dodging it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
that was cool.
I
That's me. It's gonna
think
be about
Chucky's
Child's Play or
just easy.
Sleepaway Camp. I think you underestimate how strong it would, how weird it would be to be like, oh yeah, and then him to like grab on and you'd be like, oh, ouch.
get it. He's strong, but there's still this. The size difference is a big deal. There's a reason there's weight classes in like fighting.
Yeah, he wouldn't be as heavy as he was.
No, he's a doll.
Yeah, but it's just like, which is such a weird metric to like gauge.
I could just grab his arm and just
Yeah.
like dude, Chucky's free,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But he bite you.
Second, though, I don't know.
And you're assuming he doesn't have a knife, too.
Angela kind of always waits for, like, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'd be ready.
Right. If you know what's up, you can be ready and be like, yeah.
Angela,
Golf club.
she kind of always waits for, like, the
right
least
moment.
suspecting moment. So she might be kind of tough because you would have to always be on your toes.
Right. True. If you didn't have, like, if you were just, like, at camp, it's like, oh, by the way, she's here.
Yeah.
You know?
So you better watch out.
Yeah.
And there's not, like, you can't be nice to her and then she wouldn't kill you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Who's the worst though? I have one.
Okay.
It's Michael Myers. You cannot beat him.
Well, you haven't
Quite
seen
literally.
the latest movie, Halloween Kills.
Does he die in it?
Well, there's one more movie called Halloween Ends, so I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But there's going to be a movie called Halloween Ends.
Interesting. So, I mean, this dude is like 6'8".
Mm-hmm.
He's
He
huge.
is huge.
All he does is walk. That's how confident he is
Mm-hmm.
that he's going to kill you.
Yeah.
And he does for the most part. I mean, he doesn't get them in the first movie. That was just a fluke. He was just a rookie that
Yeah,
year.
there were 12 movies, and Laurie Strode is still alive, his only target.
Yeah. So
But-
she's just something special. She's just special. She's just built different.
See, I would have to say just Candy Person because, it seems like at best it's a draw. At best you're going to tie
That's your Candy
You
Person
know.
would be tough.
because it's like, how do you deal?
If I was dumb enough to summon Candy Person,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's basically just game over.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, okay, I'll just be friends with you and we can be like demons
Killers
together.
yeah. Oh, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Leatherface. I don't know. Leatherface is big and strong for sure.
But he's dumb.
He is dumb.
I feel like he could be
Probably
easily fooled.
outsmarted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't seem that
right.
fast either.
Definitely not because the girl at the end is running very slow.
And he's still.
And they're trying to catch up and they can't do it. Jigsaw. See, I don't know the traps from the other movies. Is there traps that you're confident you'd be able to get out of?
There is a few that are I think this girl's just being dumb because there's this one where it's oh, there's this key hanging from the ceiling and it's in this glass box, and it's there's two holes to put your hands to untie the knot or whatever, but it's they're razor blade things that are so you put them up and they'll fold up, and then when you pull out it's the razor is cut into your hands
okay.
that. And I was couldn't you try one hand first and just held the blades back as you did it with one hand or something.
Okay.
So there's a few where I was maybe if you use your smarts just a little bit you could get out of there. But the chances of that over the 90%, which is oh yeah, that's you're either going to be horribly disfigured or just die in the process of winning. Maybe not. Because it's rip off your arm and leg and also not calling you an ambulance. It's okay, sure. I'm going to survive that.
Yeah, right. Not very fair.
Okay.
If you ask me.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
Which three are you picking?
Okay. I know who I'm marrying.
Who?
Michael Myers.
I'm marrying Mrs. Voorhees.
Okay. I marry Michael Myers. He doesn't talk. There's no back talk.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. You're just vibing with Mike, and he'll defend you.
I would-
Assuming that it's a good marriage,
Yes.
he's defending you till the end of time. He will fucking kill anyone that fucks with you.
I was also assuming that if it was either Jason, I would also marry Jason. So I'm just marrying the Friday the 13th, really. I would marry either.
Okay. I'm gonna be getting with Mrs. Voorhees.
Yeah, okay.
She's kind of milfy.
She is milfy. Yeah, that's why I married her, because I want that, consistency.
Low key.
See, I would fuck Norman Bates if he's dressed as the mom.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you get a little freaky.
A little freaky with it.
Who do you kill?
It's Chucky.
Kill Chucky.
Chucky's such a
Get
little
rid
fuck.
of him. Get him out of here with his stupid red hair.
I hate him. He would get killed instantly.
Yeah, kill him.
That's an easy choice.
So it's good. Sweet.
That was a good one.
What about? I thought just one more. Final girl. Who are you thinking?
Who's like the best?
Who's the coolest? Who's the least cool? What do you like?
I can't remember her name, but from Scream,
Sydney Prescott.
I think she's cool.
She is. She's definitely feels like the most.
She's one of the. She's
able.
like the smartest and like.
Yeah.
She's the best at like
very, very
trying
cool.
to like actually figure out what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then close second, our girl from Nightmare. on Elm
Nancy.
Street.
Yes. Nancy is for sure. Nancy, I would put Nancy 1, Sydney 2, I think.
Yeah, they're definitely close. They're the champions for sure.
Wes Craven.
Hey, yeah, what?
You can do it.
It's the
you
dude.
know? Saw does not. Well, Amanda's the final girl in Saw, I guess.
Yeah, she's the only one that lives. So
there
good
you
for
go.
her.
She's just like not the protagonist.
But now she has like forever PTSD of literally cutting a human being open
hey,
and getting
what's
into their stomach.
What's the big deal?
Not a big deal.
I'm
I
sure that
guess.
won't affect her psyche.
No.
Yeah, good. Do you have a hated,
What do you mean?
least favorite?
Oh. From Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Shut up, bitch.
Literally. Shut the fuck up!
That's mean.
No one can hear you out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Aesthetically, with her like blood all over and stuff, I think it's a cool look. But yeah, quiet down.
I mean, like, we get it. There's fucking creepy motherfuckers that are going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. But I promise, no one can hear you out, and no one knows where you are. You don't even know where you are.
Right. You're Texas.
Quite literally. Like, no one. Stop. Shut up.
But she lived.
Yeah, she did.
Maybe the truck driver heard the screaming and was like, I'll drive in this direction for a while.
Not a chance.
They don't get a chance to talk about it.
Not a chance that happened.
Anyway, okay. That does it, I think. I think we're good.
We did it. That takes us to the reviews of the week.
Are you weak? I'll review you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get here.
What do you have? What do you have for us? Got a guess. Guess. Here. Why don't I just go? 1 out of 10. From May 30th, 1999. Did anyone buy the resolution to this plot? The motives were lame and the bloodshed senseless. Even my 6-year-old was scared until the end when she pronounced the whole thing stupid. I realized this movie was geared toward teenagers struggling with a crack addiction, but even they must have some standards. This movie is on par in the horror genre that the Smokey and the Bandit movies are in the comedy genre.
Scream.
Yes.
I'm good. I'm good. I got that one.
Alrighty.
I have 2.
Okay.
I have a third one that I am going to find while, like, we'll do these 2, and then we can do the email, and then we'll do another one that I will find easy because I forgot to screenshot it. Here's one. This one should be easy. Let me prepare myself.
Okay.
Okay,
Jesus. Okay. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Good job.
Yep.
Okay, now I have actual review.
All right.
Quentin Tarantino's favorite poster.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's Saw.
Oh.
The poster of Saw is a picture of a severed foot.
Oh, see, because I was thinking it was like a real thing. But you're right. It is a poster of a severed foot.
Yeah, thought that was funny.
Yeah. I have some breaking news.
Breaking news.
A Nazi-looted Van Gogh painting could fetch $30 million. This is not breaking, but
A what?
a Nazi-looted Van Gogh painting.
Okay.
It could fetch $30 million. They found it, and it's going to be this big painting.
Wow.
It's cool.
How about that happening?
It's not breaking as I see it, but Google told me, like, right now. It's like, hey,
It's
by
because
the
your
way.
phone listens to you.
Yeah, because all of my Martin Scorsese talk, it obviously caught on. We do have an email today. Did you know you could email us?
You can email us at thestaglerpod@gmail.com. You can send us emails, whatever you want. Question,
Comments.
comments, concerns.
That's my favorite. We have one
Anything.
coming in that says, Kill 'em all.
Kill 'em all.
Happy Halloween. Now,
Happy Halloween.
while you guys talk about slashers, obviously the number one thing we're looking for is the bloody, gory, sometimes over-the-top ways those young teenagers get brutally murdered. But to expand a little bit beyond that, what do you think is your favorite movie death ever, horror or otherwise? Thanks.
Ever?
Favorite movie death ever?
Okay.
Ever is a lot, so let me take.
I can think of a couple that are pretty cool. Like, a lot of them are like more like heroic moments than like.
Okay, like the end of I Am Legend, where he takes the grenade and he undoes the thing.
That's
and
good.
He runs
That wasn't
into-
what I was thinking of, but that's a good one.
Okay.
It's just death. The question said deaths in any film.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that came to mind is when Furiosa kills. What's his name? The dude.
The Emperor, the Water Baron.
The bad guy in Fury Road.
yes.
And she like
And
the mask
rips
gets
the
ripped off,
thing.
and then the truck flips. Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Love that moment.
That's a good one.
And the other one is when Willem Dafoe's character is killed in the film Platoon.
Oh.
When he's running out of the jungle
Mhm.
and the music's playing and he's like getting shot and
Yeah.
he does the iconic like
Yeah. I was gonna say Willem Dafoe's death in Spider-Man, when the hover glider
yeah.
gets into his gut. That's good.
It is good.
I like that one.
Those are the first two that like popped to my mind like quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have any?
I like this one in I Am Legend where the dog gets strangled to death.
Okay, that's terrible.
That's a good
Podcast is
one.
over now. It will just be me for however many podcasts we do. I'll try to find a new co-host to co-host the show with
You
me.
heard it first. Martin Scorsese is out. He's not allowed to host
But
the
that was
Stagler.
just totally uncalled for.
Okay. I think Up. There's a really good death near the beginning of Up, which is super cool. I mean, really, if you take it though seriously, it is technically a really good movie, Death.
I
know?
guess.
But did he say death or did he say kill? I don't even remember. No, it says death. So Up. Gets you every time.
it does get you every time.
It
It's
gets
true.
you seriously. Oh, every time. Yeah. Sweet.
What's it? The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Gosh, you and all these movies. Okay.
Remember he fights the like British dude at the end
Mm-hmm.
and he stabs him through the throat with the bayonet.
Mm.
That's good.
Yeah.
Remember that one was pretty good.
I like the one on Hot Fuzz where the gardener gets Leslie Tiller or whatever, gets the shears through the throat. And
That's
it, like,
funny.
shoots out.
That one's funny.
I don't know why that one came to mind. Just did.
There's probably a whole bunch that I like.
A lot of people die in a lot of movies. All the time.
Oh, you know
Ghost
what?
Shark.
Ghost Shark. All the shark movies.
Yeah, basically
Hello?
every death in every shark movie ever.
Amazing.
It's pretty good.
Ghost Shark is good. The last one I want to mention is when Vision gets the stone taken out of his head by Thanos.
Oh, okay.
Loved that. Loved that.
Do you like fake out deaths in movies?
No.
You hate them every single time, even
Well,
if it's
actually,
heroic.
I love it. My favorite one is in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker when Chewie is in like a transport ship and Rey and Kylo have like a force battle over it, and they end up blowing it up. And you're like, OMG, Chewie dies, but it's a fake out because in the very next scene, Chewie is right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite one.
That one's really good.
Yeah. I remember really liking that one in the theater.
In the front row. Well,
Yes, because, I just talked about in our latest episode about Jason Statham's fake out death
yes,
in
true.
the film Chaos.
True.
So I did enjoy that. So it depends the circumstances.
And I was just starting to think about Eternals for some reason because I was like,
Hype. You're getting hyped
Yeah.
up.
because we're seeing it this Thursday, right?
Yeah, buddy.
So I'm getting excited for that. And I don't know. It's just you have the weird award-winning director, and then people are like, oh, the movie's bad. Very interested in saying about that.
Yeah, and it's Marvel.
Yeah.
Usually they don't say the movie's bad.
So I was thinking about things that were good and then maybe got a little sourer to people, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I thought that we just saw Lamb, right?
We did see Lamb.
So I thought that maybe next episode for our spotlight, we could do a spotlight on A24. And
Okay.
do, pick out, not all of them, made a lot of movies, but A24, pick out what are some really, really good ones And maybe like, oh, what are some like misses that maybe people like just forgot
So
about? or
A24
whatever?
hits and misses.
Yeah, I thought that could be a really cool episode for us to do.
That is
And,
cool.
I would
I
hope
like
you agree.
that.
And I hope you viewers and listeners at home agree, because that's that. That's what it's gonna be.
That'll be it.
So,
But
yeah.
before we end, I have this last review.
Okay.
I'd like to read. I wanted to dig into this. It's
Yeah.
not going to be one that you're going to guess on. This is for Friday the 13th. This person brings up a very interesting thing.
Okay.
Strip Monopoly
Mm-hmm.
might sound like a fun game, but I can think of several problems with this mode of play.
Okay.
This goes into depth here. For one, the notion that players are to strip instead of paying rent, does that not negate Monopoly's entire in-game economy? Here's just one hypothetical scenario that shows the cracks in paying rent by stripping. Let's say I invest all of my money in building hotels on the orange properties, considered to be by experts to be the most powerful properties in all the games. I didn't know that. Then one of my opponents lands on one of my hotels. They strip naked. It's not clarified whether higher rent equals greater levels of nudity, but let's assume for the sake of argument that it does. But they still have all their money, and I'm still broke. Perhaps if some kind of barter system were in place, a workable secondary clothing-based economy could be arranged. For instance, I'll trade you my windbreaker for your waterworks, or I'll give my blouse to the bank.